All right, let's dive into something that sounds, well, completely backwards. We're talking about boredom. You know, that thing we all try to escape with our phones, with TV, with anything really. What if I told you that very thing is actually a secret weapon for unlocking, well, pretty much everything?
Okay, let me ask you something. Picture this. You're in a room, all by yourself. No phone, no music, no distractions at all. And you've got two choices. You can either sit there for a few hours, just you and your thoughts, or you can press a button that gives you a painful electric shock. Seriously, what do you do?
Now, the answer seems like a no-brainer, right? Who would choose the shock? Well, in a real psychological study, that's exactly what happened. A shocking number of people, after just a little while alone, got so antsy, so desperate for anything to happen that they willingly shocked themselves. Think about that for a second. It points to this crazy truth. We have become terrified of being alone inside our own heads.
But here's the twist. What if that thing we're running from, that quiet, that boredom, is actually where all the magic happens? What if it's the secret ingredient, the very breeding ground for genius ideas? I mean, look at J.K. Rowling. She's stuck on a train, right? No phone to scroll through, no laptop, nothing to do. She was just bored. And in that moment of total enforced quiet, an entire universe, yep, the whole world of Harry Potter, just fell into her head.
And the result of that one little moment of boredom? Oh, just the best-selling book series in history. No big deal. But seriously, this wasn't some random fluke. It was the direct result of her brain finally having the empty space it needed to, create something amazing.
And it's not just her. Think about Nikola Tesla, the guy who literally invented the modern world with alternating current. He said his biggest breakthroughs came from the long hours he spent completely alone. So you start to see this pattern emerge, right? The greatest minds don't run from boredom. They actually use it.
Okay, so if being bored is this incredible superpower, why do we all avoid it like the plague? I mean, why do we feel that itch to grab our phone the second we have a spare moment? Well, the answer is all about our brain chemistry and how modern technology has figured out how to hijack it.
So here's what's going on in your head. When you're not really focused on anything specific, you're just kind of zoning out, your brain switches into what scientists call the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's screensaver, and its job is to look for something interesting. Now, back in the day, this is when you daydream, you'd have creative ideas. But today, that network just screams one thing: check your phone.
And check this out. A study perfectly illustrates this. They took two groups of people, one group over 50 years old, the other under 20, and just asked them to be alone for a few hours. The results were, wow. The over 50 group? Yeah, pretty much all of them did it, no problem. The under 20 group, almost none of them could handle it. This isn't just about different generations liking different music, you guys. This is about our brains being fundamentally rewired.
And the main culprit behind all this? A little chemical in your brain called dopamine. Every single time you watch one of those quick videos or see a new notification pop up, your brain gets a little shot of this stuff. It's a pleasure chemical. It feels good. It's a tiny little reward, and it is unbelievably addictive.
So what's the big deal? Well, this creates a really nasty cycle. Our brains get trained to expect instant rewards all the time. So when we have to do something important, something that takes a while, like studying for a test or working on a big project, it feels awful. It feels boring. Why? Because the dopamine reward is way, way off in the future. We're literally training ourselves to pick cheap, easy hits of pleasure over deep, meaningful work.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bleak, but here's the good news, and it is really good news. You can fight back. You can actually retrain your brain. You can learn to embrace focus again and unlock that hidden power of boredom. And I'm going to give you a simple 5-step action plan to do exactly that.
All right, here's the game plan. We're going to cover daily no stimulation, delaying your dopamine, working without lyrical music, the do, observe, correct rule, and last but not least, learning to do boring things. Let's break it down.
Okay, step 1, daily no stimulation. And listen, this one is non-negotiable. You have to do it. Every single day, for just 10 or 15 minutes, your job is to do nothing. Go for a walk, sit on a chair, stare out the window, but here's the catch. No phone, no podcasts, no music, just you and your own thoughts. And yeah, it's going to feel weird at first. It might even feel uncomfortable. Good, that's kind of the point.
But the payoff for that discomfort? It's massive. Get this. A study from Stanford University found that this simple little habit, just walking and letting your mind wander, can boost your creativity, your memory, and your ability to visualize things by up to 50%. That's huge!
All right, step 2. Delay your dopamine. Think about your morning routine. If the very first thing you do when you open your eyes is grab your phone, you're immediately jacking up your dopamine levels. You're starting your day with a huge hit of stimulation, which actually sets you up to be more tired and distracted later. The fix is so simple. Just wait. Wait 15, maybe 20 minutes after you wake up before you even look at a screen. It's a tiny change that can literally reset the entire tone for your day.
Step 3, and this one might be tough for some of you. Work without music that has lyrics. Look, a 2013 study basically confirmed what we kind of already knew. When you're trying to read or write and there's a song with lyrics playing, your brain is trying to do two things at once. It's processing the words you're reading and the words it's hearing. It's like a traffic jam in your head, and it seriously messes with your memory and your ability to understand things. If you have to have something on, make it instrumental.
Okay, let's move on to step 4. This is a fantastic little trick for anyone who overthinks things. It's called the do, observe, correct rule. It's a simple loop. First, just do the task. Don't worry about how good it is. Just get it done. Then, after you're finished, observe your performance. Be honest with yourself about what worked and what didn't. And then, tomorrow, you focus on one thing, correcting what you did poorly. That's it. It breaks that cycle of anxiety and just gets you focused on making small, steady improvements.
And finally, we have step 5, do boring things. I know, it sounds awful, but hear me out. You need to intentionally do small, tedious tasks that you hate. It's like going to the gym for your brain. For me, it was brushing my teeth at night. I know it's small, but I just found it so boring and would always put it off. But once I forced myself to conquer that one tiny annoying habit, I started to build the discipline, that muscle, to take on much bigger goals. You are literally building your focus muscle one boring task at a time.
So when you start putting these pieces together, what you're really doing is more than just learning to deal with being bored. In a world that's just drowning in distraction, you are developing a genuine superpower. You know, there's this old proverb that basically says, the person who learns to do the boring things that they don't like, well, that person can do anything in the world. And it's so true. Your ability to just sit down and focus on what's important, even when it's not fun or exciting, that is the single thing that will set you apart from almost everyone else. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What is that one small, boring, tedious thing you've been avoiding? Is it finally making your bed every morning? Cleaning out that junk drawer? Whatever it is, what is the very first boring task you are going to conquer to start building your new superpower?